right, this is Gino Robert at the 2013 NAMM show. I'm here at the Moog music booth with Amos. Amos is going to talk us through the Sub Phatty and tell us what's completely special about it, because this is actually a whole new design and a whole new synth.
Hi everyone, Amos here from Moog, and as Gino was saying, I'm here to talk about the new Sub Phatty analog synthesizer for Moog Music. And this is the latest subtractive analog synthesizer from Moog. It's monophonic, but is a 2-oscillator synthesizer. Additionally, it has a sub-oscillator, putting out a square wave, an octave below oscillator 1 for massive body and bass, and also an analog noise generator directly in the signal path, which fills out your sound shaping options, letting you do percussion sounds, white noise sweeps, and a lot of other very useful tonal ingredients, add some grit to your sound. So as Gino was saying, there are some new aspects to the Sub Phatty here that I want to go over in brief. Our oscillators are pulling from the heritage and the DNA of the Voyager and the Little Phatty series. They use the continuously variable wave shaping circuit designed by Bob Moog for the Voyager, which allows you to smoothly blend from a triangle wave through sawtooth to square and skinny pulse. It's like pulse width modulation across a whole gamut of different oscillator shapes and tones. We've taken the basic circuit that I described that Bob designed, and we've revoiced it to provide a lot more high-end harmonics, which gives you a richer tone with a lot more to work with the filter. The principle behind subtractive analog synthesis is that you start with the most harmonically rich sound that you can, and then you use a filter to subtract out the sounds and harmonics that you don't want to hear, leaving the sculpted tone. And so the richer your sound source, the more sonics that you have to work with, and just the more bite and grit and that you have in your sound. It really helps you cut through the mix. So we've taken these oscillators, we've improved the oscillator core over the Little Phatty to provide something that is rock solid in its tuning with almost no warm-up time. So indoors, outdoors, and around the world, this is an analog synth that you can gig with in any condition, and you know you're going to be in tune and on point. All right, so we're going to dial in a simple 1-oscillator sawtooth sound to start with. And the filter is wide open. Already you can hear those rich sonics. And now, as we bring in some resonance and sweep the filter, you can hear what we do with that sound. And now I'll bring in the multi-drive, and you can hear how it really just chews up and distorts those harmonics. All right, now I'll bring in the second oscillator, the key to the sound, the 2-oscillator sound that you get here. And now, it's worth pointing out that in addition to these overdriven, crunchy multi-drive sounds, you also have the full vocabulary of a classic Moog synthesizer. So if you keep the oscillators backed off in the mixer, keep the multi-drive turned down, you have the sweet, creamy soul of a vintage Moog analog synth. So you really can get the entire range from vintage clean tones to modern overdriven aggressive attack. And all of that is available in a compact package, which also features full MIDI implementation. So every parameter that affects the sound, every knob on the panel sends and receives high-resolution MIDI. So you can plug this directly into your software sequencing environment using standard MIDI or USB, and you can capture every nuance of your performance and every knob tweak and play it back from your sequencer, as well as having complete plug-in style automation. The Sub Phatty is also going to ship with an editor, a fully featured editor and librarian, which will work in VST and Audio Unit and Pro Tools plugin formats, as well as standalone.
One of the most important new features is the speed of the envelopes. This is a faster envelope. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. What we have here in the envelope section is very, very powerful and crispy sound going from a millisecond at the fastest attack to 10 seconds. And in classic Moog style, you have a linear attack and then exponential decay, which gives you a very punchy and yet naturalistic sound. It's perfect for shaping really punchy and crisp stabs and clean percussion sounds. I have a couple examples here. And so you can hear from that you have this incredibly crisp punch. The snap of the envelopes driving those analog oscillators gives you just a body and a punch of sound that's very hard to attain any other way. And so the Sub Phatty delivers that in spades.
And this is a lot different than the other Voyager products, correct? And the other Phatty products.
I wouldn't say it's a lot different. I would be careful to differentiate that this has its own unique voice, but it has very much in common with those other instruments as well. So it's sort of like we took the best aspects of our previous instruments and tried to refine them, given the feedback that we've gotten from the users of our previous gear. We've taken their requests and implemented them here to give more of the good things that our previous synths have offered. So it's a difference of degree rather than of kind.